All right, everybody. How are you today? I wanted to do a video about Uranus retrograding back into Taurus. All week long, I've been thinking about this. I've been talking about it with other folks who are in the spiritual community and just what we think is going to happen. There have been a lot of scary videos out there about financial crashes and other things. But honestly, I am picking up on much more internal dynamics shifting, what your definition is of security or safety, and how Uranus is going to shake that up. All right. And it may be that you have one idea of security and safety, and by the end of this transit, right, we're talking about November 7th through February 4th of next year. And it's going to not move back into Gemini until April. But I will say that this time of the retrograde, I feel like it's about internal shakeups, okay, in terms of our own feelings of being able to ground ourselves or set a course for adventure. All right. Couldn't resist. Okay, let's see what's going on for you. Wow. Divine Feminine coming right through. Divine Feminine, new moon, home. Okay, lucky. I gotta take that now that I've seen it. Boundaries, please. Boundaries. Wow. Divine Masculine and the shift. Yeah, this is a time of some kind of, the boundary thing seems really louder. It's coming right through in this reading, right in between the Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine. So whatever was going on previous to now, I feel like Uranus backing into Taurus says, okay, we've got to flip the script. We got to change what we're doing here. This is not going to work. I've got to flip the script. I've got to change what I'm doing. Some of you, I have very recently, I think it was in the twin flame reading just the other day, about the new moon in Scorpio and about physical moving. And Taurus is about physical. Okay. So there can be some kind of shift in terms of your address. Well, I mean, that's super duper basic, but it's Taurus, right? It's like, where do we live on the planet? I mean, it could be, I almost feel like some of you might have to set a boundary here, that it does kind of feel very sudden to me. Uranus is surprise. Look who's coming to dinner. Look who's moving in. Oh my God. All right. That's interesting. So that's a surprise. That's definitely a surprise. In the twin flame reading the other day, I definitely talked about how this reconnection might not look the way you expect it to, but I do feel like it's like some kind of lucky break around this connection, some kind of spiritual connection that you have. It may or may not be twin flame, but Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. And for some of you, this is a very powerful soulmate. For others of you, this is your twin flame. And there's some kind of lucky shift in energy because of this Uranus retrograde back into Taurus, that they, pull up their roots to come and live with you seriously. Okay. Let's see what the reading shows. Wow. The Knight of Wands. Yes. Here's the 8 of Cups on the path right now. 10 of Pentacles, Hanged Man, and the 3 of Pentacles. So you have some healing. Wow. There's the sudden energy of Uranus. And then here's the boundary. Chariot. I just feel like this is too fast. This person feels like you're home. You are their home. You are their family. This could be a person who is going to be a spouse. Right now, I don't feel like they are your spouse. I feel like this is something that's very sudden, that all of a sudden it's like, we're not only living together, but this is turning into something way more than I thought it was going to be. You have some work to do together. You have a business to build, or some kind of financial interest, financial system to create, something like that. I'm very much in the Taurus energy right now. I'm seeing Sag, which is like sudden also. Uranus, there's Pluto. We've got Aquarius here, which is ruled by Uranus. So this is going to be very healing for some of you, because there's going to be a lot of togetherness, a lot of, it's time for us to work on this connection in the same location, the same physical location, which is why the home thing is here. All right. So 3 of Cups showing up, Magician, Queen of Wands, creative, mercurial energy, lots of communication, lots of celebration. This is definitely fall, because I'm getting that 3 of Cups with the pumpkins and stuff, right? I'm keying into the pumpkins there. So there's definitely something here about fall in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know why I'm looking at this. I'm seeing that she is in the desert. There's lion energy, obviously Leo energy, but there's something that feels like you feel not left out in the cold, but sort of left out. You felt left out of this connection for a while. Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and the 2 of Wands. This person desperately wants you to trust them. I get the feeling that there was a reason why maybe you don't trust them right now, or you haven't trusted them for a while. The Judgment card, the 4 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. There's a lot of work to be done here. Okay, there's a lot of work to be done here. And it does have to do with how we communicate. This is Mercury energy. We're going to have a Mercury retrograde very soon. So that's going to be happening. And it's going to bring in a lot of conversation around trust. Scorpio time, right? We're talking about trust. We're talking about healing trust with that Star card. And we're also talking about whose burden, whose responsibility. Some of you, this is a person who's left behind a family or a spouse. They may have gone through a divorce recently. This might have even been a third party connection at some point, which is why this person wants you to trust them, because that third party, especially if you guys were connected during the end of their marriage, it doesn't mean you were, like, it doesn't mean you had anything to do with that. But they've made some decisions in their life, or they're about to make some big decisions. And I just feel like they've gone through some kind of collapse, some kind of big ending. And they're now like trying to decide the new direction of their life, right? With that 2 of Wands. And this is not about you being responsible for that choice. Page of Swords, the World, the Emperor, and the 4 of Swords. This person knows they have a lot to sort out, a lot to heal, a lot to work on. The new chapter is going to require them to be more mature, or I feel like this is really going to be like the run up to this Saturn Neptune entry into Aries next year, February 20th. Uranus goes direct February 4th in that sign of Taurus. So it may take this couple of months here, November, December, January, and into early February, for you guys to kind of sort this out. All right, for you to sort this out. I feel like you might think this person has taken a long time to get to you, and then like, I've got to make some big decisions now about my life. And like, okay, well, could we have talked about this before? Does it have to be like when you're completely shed of your old life and you don't know what you're doing, and now you're kind of on my doorstep, like wanting reconciliation, wanting to work together? 8 of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, the Sun. This person left a job or a career. They left a lot of things that they built. They just left it behind. All right, this underneath too, I just want to say it's quite possible that your person had some kind of very traumatic ending to a chapter of their life, whatever that is. Could be career, could be personal. They've had some strong trauma. And I do think that they want to move things forward very quickly to sort of get through that, like, and not be still in it. But I don't know that that's a good idea to move things along so fast. So you might be really putting the brakes on this, setting that boundary and just being like, you need some time to heal. You need some time to work things through. Let's stay friends and let's work through some things together. Maybe we have a mission and purpose together. Is that what this Three of Pentacles is about? Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, Four of Pentacles. Yeah, they're terrified about their money. Ace of Wands, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Devil card. Oh yeah, they're still hacking through some pretty deep brush about that. And they do have a new idea, or you might have a new idea. And it is, in my view here, some kind of good practice to do the thing you can. I feel like you're the Queen of Pentacles here. And I feel like you're somebody who is wanting to ground your identity in a new beginning for yourself because of Taurus, maybe an internal shakeup for you. And it might look differently with this person. Your internal shakeup, what does that have to do with? How I deal with relationships. Yeah, and conflict. And commitment. And change. Right? Five of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Before you go, like you're working through relationships in your own life, this person shows up maybe from the past, or this is a twin flame, or this is a very strong soulmate. And this brings up all kinds of issues around commitment, love, conflict, change, endings, regrets, all of that. So there's going to be a lot of really honest conversation. And I feel like that's a really good thing. All right. A lot of honest conversation that's been needed for a really long time. All right. That's been needed for a long time. Why is the Ten of Wands here? Knight of Cups, the Moon, the Nine of Wands, and the Two of Swords. So the timing of this could be more around the, we just had that full moon in Taurus. So that might have flushed this, it's sort of a watershed moment in this person's life, that there's some big endings that are happening, big endings happening with you in other arenas. And the new life partner, the new opportunity, I just get the feeling that you put the brakes on this a little bit for your own health and well-being. Good for you. Good for you. The new moon in Scorpio, that's happening the 19th or 20th of this month, depending on where you are in the world. And not only is it sun and moon conjunct, because that's what a new moon is, that's what a new moon is, but it's also conjunct Mercury, and Mercury's in retrograde. So there's potentially a lot of internal dialogue that's happening as well as we go through this. Like, is this the right thing? Is this something that's going to be good for me? Or is this toxic? Am I repeating the old patterns? I don't want to repeat the old patterns. And so there's a fair amount of working through relationship problems, not between the two of you, but the blocks you've had to actual intimacy and love. That is real, whether or not this person is here or not. I do feel like they show up. I do feel like there's a lot of unspoken sort of karmic things is not the right word. Unspoken or karmic issues to be sorted through. And this has to be sorted through very methodically. Okay. We have Saturn. Saturn and Neptune are back in Pisces right now. And that can add an air of fantasy or dreaminess to this. And I like that Saturn's there to say, hey, let's I keep getting this like slice and dice. Let's move through these issues. Let's open them up. Let's look at them. Let's decide on a new course of action. Let's go through each of the things that were problems for each of us individually and then each of us as a couple. Let's go through all of those issues and let's decide on a course of action. This is very kind of Aquarian. It's not super romantic, but I feel like both of you have had significant trouble in relationships in the past and maybe even with each other. And so now's the time to like, let's get it all out there. This is like a emotional prenuptial agreement. Like, let's get it all out there on the table. This is something I've always had a problem with. I always have a problem with communicating or during not taking things personally or seeing through the lens of previous lovers and not seeing you clearly enough. Maybe commitment's been a problem. Maybe shared resources are a problem. Whatever it's been, I feel like you really need to hash through this. And that's a really positive thing to do. The Three of Pentacles says there's a business here or there's some kind of legal agreement. Oh yeah, King of Pentacles. All right, Empress. Here you go, Empress and the Chariot card. So make sure, I feel like that the advice is saying to you, whatever you guys do together, make sure there's a contract or make sure you hash through all of the implications of a partnership, especially a business partnership where there's money involved. And I don't want to downplay a marriage partnership because I can see that too, but there should just be a lot of conversation about what you do and don't want before any kind of implied commitment is made. I feel like you do have a mission together, a purpose together. It is going to create a lot of wealth and abundance for the both of you. You just need to make sure that you know that you agree, that you see things the same. What if you make a ton of money with this person? And what if they think differently about money than you do? You got to know. Okay, you got to know. And because it's Uranus backing up into Taurus, Taurus is about the wealth. Well, Taurus is about the value we place on things. So this person could place no value on shared resources and only want to create things that they want to create for their own financial interests. Or they could be somebody who is not good with money and doesn't know that you really do need to talk all of these things through first before the money starts flowing. Don't wait till after, then it's too late. Okay. So I'm going to keep going with this reading. I'm going to look at what you don't see coming. I'll talk more about the Scorpio new moon because I feel like that is the death and rebirth of this, especially if this is a relationship that has been in your life or was in your life at one point and it's resurfacing. Okay. All right. If this is your reading, surprise, guess who's moving in? All right. Link is below if you want to continue on. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.